Do you want to grind out a mega rare? Always losing motivation 2kc in? Trying to speedrun your PB down can be fun and engaging, for a little while. But if you really want to keep the burnout at bay, at some point you're going to have to learn how to turn your brain off and mindlessly grind just like Glook. Wave skipping is probably the most stressful skip in ToA. There's very little margin for error and recovery is almost impossible, but it can really bail you out of some sticky situations. To wave skip, you need to walk with the wave just before it hits you, then run straight through it. If you start walking a little early, you can simply pause for one tick, then start walking again. But if you're one tick late, you'll be swimming with the fishes. The solve for the first boulder special will almost always be on the left side. Conversely, the solve for the second boulder special will generally be on the right side. Did you know that you can pull water jugs instead of just pushing? No, you didn't. Quit lying to yourself. This shimmy isn't actually a useful strategy. I just find it infinitely hilarious. The order of the dung special is not random. Kefri will always target the first two players from the team order, which you can see at any time by checking the player orbs. This means you actually have full control of dung order when forming a group. The yellow Karis is highly sought after for its coveted full heal special, but did you know it also has a healing passive? Every time you kill something with the yellow Karis, it heals you in exchange for a little prayer. This makes it an ideal choice for popping eggs and swarms when you're low on HP. In solo or small teams, the agile scarabs will inevitably form a cluster. This makes them an ideal blood barrage target when in dire straits. If you're new to butterflying, do yourself a favor and only mark tiles for one direction. The extra tile markers are just going to confuse you. Personally, I almost always run counterclockwise, because you don't need to shift-click to run through any of the shadows with proper camera alignment. If you mess up and take a hit from Akka, the worst thing you can do is keep on butterflying as if nothing happened. Akka stands still while attacking, so you need to pause for a moment to let him catch back up to you. Since the Akka fight is broken into 5 phases, the shadows will materialize every time Akka takes 20% damage. Staircasing is by far the most versatile strategy in ToA. It looks far more intimidating than it really is. The blast of the memory special is actually 2 separate waves. It starts in the middle and pushes outward. You dodge the attack by stepping into the first wave the moment it spreads to the back. To staircase, start one tile away from the corner and move in a zigzag. You start the moment you hear the last memory. You could also just wait to see the last light for all you soundless escaping psychos. What's great about staircasing is that it works in any scenario. It doesn't matter how many memories, what order they're in, or even whether feeling special is on. It's by far the most consistently brain-dead option. It also keeps you away from the pack, so you don't have to feel the burn. Shadow skipping is a necessary tool for completing high-level solo invocations. The Shadow Blast is the inverse of the Memory Special Blast. It starts from the back and pushes inward to the middle in 2 separate waves. Once you see the shadows turn blue, that's your cue to jump forward. Akka is by far the most dangerous aspect of mass ToA. You need to be very, very afraid of other players in this room. Do not stand in the stack. You will die. I always prefer to stand just outside of the safe quadrants. There's plenty of time to react to a Shadow Blast if you're paying attention. Unfortunately, there is no simple strategy to get better at Akka's orb phase. However, it's generally a lot safer to step into your attack and then step out towards the middle. The middle area is generally the least busy. Since the Baba fight is broken into 3 phases, the Boulder Special will start every time Baba takes 33.3% damage. Baba will always attack the player with the lowest HP. This is why it feels like she's always on you when you don't want her to be. Red Xing is very difficult to master, but it's insane how much it simplifies the Baba fight. To start, give Baba a quick love tap and move towards the corner 2 ticks. Turn off run and click the teleport crystal. Move for 2 ticks, then click Baba. Wait for the shockwave and repeat. Once you have the cycle down, you'll want to shimmy yourself all the way into the corner. This gives you more time to avoid walking into the pit and also prevents boulders from dropping into the corner, which would ruin your Red X cycle. If you successfully boulder skip, you can actually start the next red X cycle immediately. First, just drop an item on one side. Then, run to the other side, turn off run, and poke Baba to interrupt the boulder special. The moment Baba finishes her recovery animation, click the item you dropped to start the red X cycle. You'll still want to shimmy yourself into the corner if it's the second phase. If you screw up, it becomes a bit more difficult to get the red X cycle going again. First, position yourself on the opposite end of the teleport crystal. You need to be one tile away from the middle of Baba to path properly. Wait for her to hit you, then click the teleport crystal. If you're unsure whether you've timed it properly, you can re-click the teleport crystal for 1 tick just before hitting Baba, then click on Baba again, making it a 6-tick action instead of a 4-tick action. This may cause you to get hit by the edge of the shockwave, but it will still set the cycle properly. When deciding the proper place to stand during Wardens, it's important to understand that the floor is made up of 4 quadrants. Think of a square pizza cut diagonally into 4 slices. You want to be standing on the edge of 2 quadrants. That's why I use this one tile. You can dodge the red line by sidestepping one tile to the right into the other quadrants, then stepping back. You can also dodge the windmill by sidestepping one tile to the left. The final Warden phase floor smash attack works the same as Akka's Memory Blast. It's 2 separate waves, which means you can step through it. I've marked the edges of the first wave's radius. Floor skipping actually heavily simplifies the fight when Insanity is active. For one, it lines up really well with skull skipping. To skull skip, stand outside of the first wave's radius and spam click a skull with a ranged weapon equipped. This will cause your character to run forward just as the second wave comes at you. You also no longer need to remember where the attack cycle is starting. Once Baba starts throwing boulders at you, the strategy gets a little more complex. Nothing a little crisscross applesauce can't handle though. Floor skipping is probably my favorite strategy. Once you get a feel for it, it has a really smooth flow. The lightning is very difficult to dodge for everyone, not just you. You want to be constantly moving. The safest place to stand is on a tile where lightning just struck. You can walk onto that tile as the lightning animation is happening, by clicking on the shadow at its darkest point. If you keep practicing these strategies, then someday you may reach a level of degeneracy akin to Glook himself.